We're live. Okay, take a look at this. Hello. Let me look down this thing here. Just so you can see the twist in this guitar. I'm gonna try and keep my fingers out of the way. Yeah. Okay. It's not usual that a camera can pick up how twisted a guitar neck is, but fair warning, when you're buying a kit guitar for $79 or whatever you can buy one for, this is what you're going to end up with. And there is, I don't know yet because I haven't set the guitar up yet, but just know that you are not going to get a straight neck, and I have yet to see one on a kit guitar that comes in that's level and straight in any way, shape, or form. They're made out of green wood that's twisted, and so it leaves you with an unlevel fretboard, the fingerboard itself and the neck is unlevel and twisted, so there's no way to make it consistently playable across the whole neck. So that's what you'll be faced with when you buy a very inexpensive, and I have no idea how much this customer bought this guitar for, but yeah, I'm hoping I can make this work. And again, I'm gonna hope that I can make it work. So we'll get down here, and here's the deal with the fingerboard. Right, so there's your fret edges. So the thing is in really bad shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to knock the edges. This is enough that it would cut you. If you ran your fingers along this real quick, you'd have cut fingers. You can see where this white marks where my fingers are kind of dry. I'm just going over it again. You can see that fretwork is awful on this thing. So I want to get the frame good and right, and then we'll start doing our work on this thing. Okay. Yeah, let me make sure. I hope I'm not clipping the audio on YouTube. I had to put a gain level adjuster on this. Okay, so good old-fashioned knock the edges off the frets. The fretwork on this is really bad, which if you're buying a new neck, most of the time the fretwork is probably the most lacking part of it, because it takes a very, I don't know, I like to say it takes a very skilled person to do really good, clean, respectable fretwork. And I don't think those people exist at places that build these types of guitars. I don't know. I'm just assuming, given the fact that this is absolutely brutal. So I want to say again a big thanks to Spark971 for let me go to live chat. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, there we go. I want to say thank you to Spark971 for the wonderful gifts that he has given me on my channel, and with channel memberships. It's very cool of you to do that, and I am truly grateful to you for that. All I'm doing right now is getting the frets to stop poking over the edge of the fingerboard, and I'm already hitting the side of the fingerboard with my file, so we're gonna have to call that good on that side. So this isn't gonna take too long, and prior to doing this, boy, I can see how much of these frets I'm the ends of these frets I'm taking off. It's crazy. In order to make this at least a clean edge on this fretboard. Now I have a tool here that I bought, and I'm due for a new file for this one. It's about worn out. I've had to do this on so many guitars. That is much better. Okay. I've still got some overlap here at the end. I'm going to keep working on this in a focused area. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I've knocked these edges off. And they are definitely much better. I'm going to take a little bit more off of this area of the neck. And I am using quite a bit of force. As bad as these are, I don't want this guy, the poor owner of this guitar, to cut his finger on the frets. Which, if I didn't do this, he most certainly would have been getting cut fingers. But now you can see that I can drag my rag down these frets and it doesn't get hung up on the edges. So just that little move has been a marked improvement. Now, I am going to use my handy dandy little end tool to knock the ends off of this, kind of round them off a little bit. Have to do this on every single fret. So if you've never worked on frets before, you might learn a little bit about working on your own frets if you do that.
Yeah, because we bought the radio from you too.
There we go.
It has it so where it has that phone charger in it.
Okay.
It's this one right here, so when it is. This one right here.
That's a Jensen.
It's that one right there.
Mm-hmm.
The one it is.
They made Kim would look almost identical, so if you're positive the
A
model.
lot of extra work to do on
two of them here.
Yeah, the ones in the display are actually just
on a guitar of this kind of,
they're old school.
I don't know, value, but you know, the idea is here,
Yeah, I think
I've said it for a long time,
this Jensen one here.
that a person can spend $40 on a guitar or $40,000 on a guitar, and it can be made to play nicely.
Yeah, and all it does is the screen just runs across.
But there are some limits to that statement, I suppose, and the fretwork on this is so poor that, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to set the action up over the whole neck to where my standards would be for sure.
$50 part there, buddy.
I don't own a guitar with frets that are this terrible. And so, oh, Mark, hello. Yeah, these things are Axiom. Hello, man, welcome. So I realize that this, this is going to take a little bit of time to do. So if you have the patience to hang in there, you can watch my methods and how I'm using these tools. And if you decide to do your own guitar work, my hope is that it will help you be able to do the job properly, and so that you're happy with it. This may build a little bit of confidence in you to tackle a project like this. Now, these fret ends, I'm not going to go for perfectly rounded fret ends. What I'm going for are fret ends that this gentleman can play this guitar literally this Saturday night at a gig. Actually, it's been a while, dude. Yeah, Mark, it was great to see you. Congratulations, we made some money on YouTube, dude. That's so funny. Let me go check my I'm going to give myself a little bit more volume. Okay, so I'm going to keep going here, and I'm just using the edge of this is a Hoshko file made in Japan. They can build some pretty good tools over there, and hang on, I just went outside for a moment, and it's cold out there, and so I'm dripping. My nose is dripping a little bit. And also, I'd like to thank everybody who showed up last night to my stream. It was kind of a fun one, and another, I think, hopefully educational video to help folks be able to use older audio interfaces to get music into your DAW. Amazing. People are dropping, hundreds of dollars on, third and fourth generation, fifth generation now Focusrite audio interfaces like an 18i20 or whatever. Well, they can get a little expensive. I mean, they're not radical, but nonetheless, $500 is nothing in today's world, right? But you can use an old second gen. You can buy an old used second gen because somebody had to get the third gen or the fourth generation because it's got the loopback function, right? Well, people don't realize. You can watch that video that was from last night. Can't remember what I called it, but it's on my channel, and it was a live stream. I did a little guitar playing and stuff, but the first 20 minutes or so of that video has some very useful information that might save you some money if you've thought about spending money on a new audio interface for the reason of needing a loopback function, because you actually don't on one of those. So let's see. And I'm trying to, oh, Spark, hey man, good to see you again. Dude, thank you so much for your wonderful, kind, generous gift last night. I really appreciate that, man. I wasn't really sure about the channel memberships because my channel is so small that YouTube, if I think, I don't even know what the specs are now or what they expect, but I think you have to generate $100 of revenue, and that's from ad revenue and such, a year. And if you don't do that, YouTube just takes the income. So, and what I pay for YouTube Premium, so I don't have to look at ads and such. That's basically why I do it. I don't want to see any advertisements. If I want to learn about something, I will find somebody who's done a video about it and watch that, and hopefully they will get some revenue for it instead of, Budweiser or whatever. So I was a little nervous about that, but as it turns out, my channel is doing well enough now, and it's getting enough views that I'm actually hitting that mark, so I'll be able to collect that money. So again, dude, your money is not going to go to YouTube, just so you're aware. And I really appreciate you doing that for me. That was very kind of you. So I'm gonna keep going here and get these frets edges knocked off, and as you can see, it takes a few minutes to do this, and I'm not being really super careful with this thing with respect to making them perfectly rounded again. I mean, that can take some time and effort, and the idea here is to make this guitar playable, which, as it was, is totally unplayable. This thing is really a terrible fretwork, which is why this young man brought this guitar to me, because he knows that I can do it, and I've worked on other guitars for him before. I'll do my best. I've got this thing has a twisted neck, and if you look at the photo that I used for the stream, you can actually see the curve of the neck. I'm sorry, not the curve, the twist in the neck. It is astonishing how bad it is on this thing. It is brutal. And you can see, as I'm doing this, you can see the little flakes of metal coming off these edges, which is just cutting down these side edges. Which, the way these frets were done, they were cut at an angle so steeply that my file was actually hitting the wood on the side of the neck and curving that edge over, which generally makes a pretty comfortable feeling guitar neck when your fingers roll over it. You don't have any sharp edge of wood hitting you or anything like that. And you don't have, on this particular guitar, you don't have the lacquer that Fender likes to use on their guitar necks. Not a big, huge fan of that. Mark, thank you, brother. Cool. Let's see. What time? Have you gone to bed yet? Or is it? It's the middle of the night there, isn't it? Just curious. What time is it there? It's tomorrow. I would think you'd be at work. It's not Saturday. Did you get a day off today? Is it a holiday? Gotta be careful. I'm letting this neck get off of my my safety blanket here so I don't scratch guitars up. I buy what is this? I buy these Nomad pads, and I am due for ordering a new one. This one's been well abused, used and abused. Okay. What? Oh, sicked it. Okay. I hope you're feeling okay, man. Been a lot of people in our area of the world that have had flu bugs and colds and viruses and things like that. This is the flu virus. Oh my God. Night and day. From when I started on this thing till right now, this is a completely usable neck now. At least with respect to not cutting your fingers when you would play it. I'll send the owner of this guitar a link to this video so he can watch it. Okay, so I've gotten the fret edges cleaned up. As you can see, I can now run my fingers over the fingerboard, the edges of the frets, and not have and not get cut. Now, I'm going to use my famous. Now, also, I want you to notice something here. There's some blue on this nut. I'm going to try and get that off of there, but there's not a whole lot of room because the strings are. I asked the owner of this guitar if he had done some work on this on the nut himself, and he said no. So I don't know how that happened, that they were so lucky to get this nut made so perfectly, but the first fret action on this guitar is actually was really nice. He brought it in all strung up, and I'll point out a couple of other things that I've had to do on this guitar before we get too far, because when he built this guitar, he got a little Arnold Schwarzenegger with it. So I blue lined it, of course. let's see, I just finished a refret on an old PV Predator. It has beautiful maple neck. Oh, cool. And I was so afraid I was going to chip it out when I pulled them, but everything turned out great. Excellent. Oh, no, Mark. God damn it. I hate to hear that. I have done a couple of refrets on lacquered fingerboards, and boy, that can be a little nerve-wracking. One of the best tools for that is this right here. Just go along the edges of those frets, and nice and easy. Almost no pressure. Just score it a couple times. Right, you see I'm doing that on bare wood. I don't even know, and then they come out really nice and easy. Okay, so let's level this fingerboard. So we're going to find out how level these frets are, and let me see, how's that look? Okay, it looks pretty good. So now I'm using a very inexpensive fret leveling block that I purchased at my local hobby shop, and it's a shop called Hobby Habit. It's where I get all of my glue and little pieces of plastic that I might need for shims and things like that. Okay, so let me look over this board. So this fret's low, this fret's low, this one is definitely low. The rest of these are looking pretty good. I'm hitting the top edge. So also, before you do a fret level on any guitar, make sure that you make sure the fingerboard is level, flat I should say, by turning the truss rod, right? Use your fret leveling tool. If you're going to level frets and you don't have one of these, I would not recommend doing it. Don't use your eyeball to measure stuff, because it will lie to you. Aside from this neck being twisted, which anyone, if you look at the picture again of this video, you will see that this neck is very twisted. And I'm using very little or no pressure on my leveling block here, and I'm trying to hit every part of the neck equally in the same amount until I get them all the frets to have the same, roughly the same amount of flat area on the top of the frets. That's the crown of the fret. And we're getting awful darn close already, although there's a few of them up here, and I know that this fingerboard has a bit of a dip in it at the 12th fret, just due to the twist and the wood being imperfect and not being a very good. And you can see, you know, cracked. And you'll notice I didn't tape off the fingerboard. I know there's a lot of you probably cringing right now, and that's fine. Now I'm kind of rounding off the corners, the edges of these frets to kind of blend them in. So I'm making a swirling motion with my file to kind of round off those edges. I've found this to be a very good method for getting those fret ends to kind of have a nice rounded, easy slope into the outer edge of the fingerboard. Well, we're getting close. Getting awful close. This thing's pretty level now. It's level, but it's twisted. So the frets are level, but there's nothing I can do to level the whole fingerboard. If it were me, I would buy a new neck, I think, for this guitar. But you know, the gentleman that did this, he owns a painting business, and he painted this guitar. So we're not gonna, and he just wants it for a backup instrument, right? Oh, goodness, sorry about that. I just knocked my camera over. There we go. Let me get you up a little bit higher. Make sure the okay, so now I can wipe this down. Looking really good, and my rag is not hanging up on the edges of the frets. So we're about ready to do the crown on these, and as you can see, I'm not spending an exorbitant amount of time doing a level and crown on this instrument. It wasn't too bad aside from the twist, and that is going to be potentially the big downfall of this instrument, unfortunately. Which, you know, you can always buy a new neck. It's a bolt-on neck, so you can buy a new neck for this, and if you buy a new neck and you receive it and it's not level, well, send it back. Make them send you one that's, if you're going to sell a guitar neck and it's not level, I mean, fuck off, right? Ergonomic, yeah. Let's see. And a soldering iron. Oh yeah, for the pulling the frets out of a lacquered fingerboard. Yeah, that'll soften the lacquer, heating it up a little bit. Let's see. It's a narrow. These are sort of medium-sized frets. I'm going to try this. They're actually pretty narrow frets. I may end up using a narrow fret leveling or fret crowning tool. So we'll get this here. I'm going to bring it down a little bit closer, and maybe we'll shed some light on this if I can. Hopefully that might help a little bit. Let me adjust my color here. I think that I need to make the let's see, let's go to properties, figure video. I'm gonna go here and try to give it a little more contrast, a little more saturation, and we're gonna bring the white balance up a bit. There we go. That's looking a little bit better to me. And I'm going to give it a little more gain, which will brighten the photo a little bit. Okay. And then I'm also going to adjust the focus slightly. It might make the this should make it a little more in focus. Low light compensation, we'll turn that off. There we go. That's looking a little more realistic. Okay. I hope that helped the picture a little bit. Maybe I made it way worse. Who knows? I can't see. Yeah, it looks better. You wrap it in a heating pad overnight, straighten it. For weeks. Yeah, that's a great idea, but I don't have that kind of time to do that, and that would not. Again, I'm gonna pull this camera up here. Let me look down this. Okay, I'm gonna try and show this to you as best I can for you to be able to see how twisted this neck is. Give me a second. I'm gonna see what you're seeing. Let me see. I don't know how well. I need to get the fingerboard visible. I tilt it up a little bit. There you go. You can probably see the amount of twist that's in that neck with this shot, I hope. And we can look at it the other way. Look at it from the nut. Yeah. So I think y'all can kind of, hopefully that helped. Actually, yeah. 5150, hello. It's BCG 5150. Yeah. Put iron on them for a minute. Yeah. Okay, who thinks they can do this in a minute? I'm only joking, but this is a bad one. No, but that's the instrument that you sometimes you get what you pay for, I guess. Again, I'm following the radius of the neck. Now these frets, when I got them, definitely weren't crowned and leveled. There was absolutely nothing level about any of these. And let me see. So here's my my leveling tool to kind of check how level they are, and we'll give you an idea up here. Now, having done my leveling job, even though the neck is twisted beyond belief, these frets are now very level. But the fingerboard is twisted, so I can't, as much as I hate to admit it, that's something I can't fix. And I'm trying to rock my fret leveler, or my checking device, and these things are level as you could hope for. And I can visually see that, because as I did it, I can see that my file, my sanding block, is catching the top edge of all of the frets by knocking the ink, off of the fret. So I don't want to spend too much time, but this is another great tool that you can get that will allow you to check your work, make sure everything is good and level. I have not oiled the fingerboard, so it's probably very dry. But this is starting, I'm starting now to see, let me see, I've touched this all over the place here. I've got, oh crap, I got ink on the fingerboard. Let me clean that up real quick. I'm getting careless. Now, to get ink, Sharpie, anything like that off of a fingerboard, and if you hear my alarm going off, it's because I'm my insulin pump is a little bit low on insulin right now. I'm getting down to the bottom of I'm getting down to the bottom of my insulin tank. You can see that I've gotten that ink off of there. Let me check. Yeah, I'm down at 12 units. Give me a second here. I gotta give myself a little bolus dose of insulin. My glucose is at 150 right now, which you could live a long, happy life, but just for the sake of argument, that's 6 hours, that's 12 hours, that's the last 24 hours of my glucose, that white line. Just because I know people care about me and they worry about this, and man, this new pump, this is the game changer. Okay, what do you got?
I'm gonna find a bag for this. Doesn't have to be much.
Okay. Be a little bit more careful this time. There we go. Alright, so let's keep crowning these things. And this side of the file is 150 grit, this side is 300 grit. So we're just really knocking off these edges to get that nice flat surface on the top of the fret. And it doesn't take much. I'm not using a lot of force. Kind of being gentle, if you will. These things are not cheap, but worth every penny you would pay for one of these. I got these from StewMac. In fact, they're stamped with StewMac. Says right on it, StewMac, right there. These are amazing tools. Makes a job go very easy and fast. They're diamond plated, I guess, so ain't much harder than these things out in the world. And they make rounding off the edges of the frets. These edges now are looking really well done. Almost looks like somebody cared when they were doing the fretwork on this. And I hope I'm still in. Okay, yeah, cool. As you can see, I'm kind of hustling along here. Oh wow, did somebody get a new guitar?
This is that used one, I'm selling it.
Oh, okay, excellent. Okay, cool. I got about 45 minutes left in my stream that I can do. So I've switched it over to 300 grit. And we're gonna just smooth out these edges a little bit. They're very rough right now from just having 150 grit hit them. All right. And again, I'm following the radius of the neck so that I'm making sure to keep the radius good and not flatten out the center portion of it. And boy, given this neck is so warped, and if you just got here and want to see how warped this neck is, probably go back 5 minutes in this stream and where I held the guitar neck up to the camera, and you can totally see what I'm having to try and polish. This what I think this neck is, I'm kind of working on. It's be like mixing a song with a singer with absolute who's tone deaf, and talk about polishing a turd. That's kind of what I'm up to here, up against, I should say. But we'll see what we can do. Maybe we can make it. Maybe it's possible that the twist in the neck will I can make up for that by lowering or raising one side of the saddles, and then maybe lowering or raising one side of the nut up here. So we'll see what we can do. This thing might play like a dream. It might be very ergonomic, right? Okay. We've got crowns on there now. That's all it takes to do a crown job on a guitar. That's it. Yeah, it looks good. Oh, these feel nice now. I mean, again, this neck is so very tragically twisted that, boy, I hope. Now, one thing I did fail to do was to, before I started this stream, I failed to cut my my sandpaper butt. Let's see, there's some 400. I'm gonna do 400, then 600, and you'll see how I do this. It's very haphazardly, if you will, but I've done this enough that with good results, and I've done this on my own guitars long enough that I know how I'm doing this is a really good way to do it, at least for me. So I'm using some 600 Duragold sandpaper. It's really great stuff. I really like it. Let me put that away. And then 800. I'm just kind of going in 200 unit increments until I get up to 1,000 grit. Let's see, 800. All right, and I'm just cutting off. You'll notice I'm cutting off the same kind of width. So I'm going, they have 800 printed on here in 3 paces. I cut it in between 2 of them. There you go. That's how I do it. And that's enough paper. 800, then we go to 1,000, which I've already got a piece here nicely cut. And then we're going to go to 2,000. And I think I've already got a piece here. Nope, I got 2 of them. So I'm going to do this. All right. So there's all my sandpaper. And let me take a look at the chat here real quick. See if anybody's... my knees hurt. Hello. Tax-free organ. Oh, I understood, man. Yep. Up and up and up and then cry. Yeah. I got a Les Paul here for sale. I'll definitely sell it to you. Some bronze is. He sprayed nitro lacquer all over it. Good grief. Cool, cool. All right, so we're going to start with some 400 grit, and we're going to sand these babies, and we're going to sand the fingerboard in some places. And the idea here is to not sand it so much that you knock the flat surface off of the top of the fingerboard. All I'm doing at this point is taking that rough edge on the very top, the flat surface of these frets, and smoothing it off so that I don't have 300 grit notches in it. And I'm also able to go over the edge of the fingerboard and really smooth out the edges of these frets, because they have obviously a very rough edge on them. That rough, in fact. So this helps me get all that stuff smoothed out. It makes the job in the end a whole lot easier. Now, also I mentioned having some blue ink or coloration on the nut, which I'm not really a fan of. And you can see I'm not pushing real hard on that, but I'm going to see if I can get rid of this blue marking up here with some sandpaper. If it's stain that was used on this, I may not be able to get it off of here, but it's thinning out. So you see, is this a bone nut? Yeah, they did a good job on this nut, actually. Let's see if I can get this blue ink off of here. Okay, I don't want to go too much further because these strings are they're cut very, very shallow. I don't want to go too far with that. So again, I'm going to try some denatured alcohol on this. See if that'll get rid of some of that. And I believe that he told me that he used some blue stain to get this color and then went over it with some clear. So this is not that important, but I don't know. If I can get rid of it, I'm gonna try. That is definitely down into the surface of this nut, which is, I think it's plastic. I can't really tell. I'm not smelling bone when I'm sanding on it, so I'm pretty sure this is a plastic or a synthetic nut. So we'll let that be. And go over it again with some 400. Just one more quick run. Getting all the edges. Okay, there's some 400. We'll throw that piece of sandpaper away. It's spent. All right, 600. Here we go. What time is it? Okay, cool. I got about 35 minutes left that I can stream, so if you're hanging with me, thank you for hanging. I appreciate it. Hopefully this will help you maybe one of these days when you're working on your own guitar. Please don't work on other people's guitars until you've worked on your own and fucked your own guitar up first. You know, there you go. And oh, and my swearing, I'm getting paid to swear, so I need to probably swear a little bit more. All right, and I've seen guys use like a credit card and do this sort of thing. Okay, this works great for me. The Wilkinson Tally kit, my dad built from Stu Mac. Yeah, those I bet are nice. This one I'm guessing is an Amazon kit, because I don't think Stu Mac, I mean, I don't know where the quality control happens for this particular guitar, but they obviously don't care that much, and they obviously are not guitar players, because they would never If I had built a neck this badly, there is no way I would let anyone have it. No way in hell I would turn that loose to the public or tell anyone that I had anything to do with the construction of that neck. This is 800 grit. These frets are looking really good. Really nice. See the smoothness of the top of them. Now, a lot of guys, even Jerry Rosa, would stop sanding frets at 600 grit. You know, in all due respect, I love Jerry, but I don't think that's, it's definitely smooth enough to play on. But a little bit more of this, and you got a better fretboard. That's my humble opinion. Not humble opinion, that's a very educated opinion, I should say. There you go. V-build. So you're working on that V, Mark? Is it done, or? Seems like I've been staring at that thing for years over in that corner, drying out, and getting all ready to be a guitar. Oh, by the way, I have a gig tomorrow night. Leo James, yeah, Leo James, yeah. Cool. It's so cool to see you guys in my chat talking about guitar stuff and how, you know, I know the world is full of guitar players, but how many guys out there enjoy working on their own instruments or building them. I didn't start really building any guitars, and I honestly haven't ever built one that I built every part of it, ever. I've used kits. And maybe I'm lucky, but the necks on all of them have been just absolutely stellar. But I also didn't buy a $79 Amazon guitar kit, and I have no idea where this one came from. But if it was something, if I could have looked this kit over, and then like been able to make an offer on it, I would have offered $10 for it. I'm not kidding. In fact, I wouldn't have offered anything for it. But if they said you have to buy it and you have to make an offer, I would have offered $10. This is 2000 grit. Alright, now we're going to do something else that I don't do a lot on a lot of guitars, just because I want to kind of hurry and get this thing polished up, and I want to have it ready for this young man to play his gig on Saturday with this guitar. Now I'm hoping I can set it up where I'm confident that, I mean, that's 2 days from now. And it hasn't had strings on it now since, well, it's been a couple days that the strings have been off of it. Again, there we go. 2000 grit. Alright, now, let's wipe this thing down. I'm going to take some denatured alcohol once again. I like denatured alcohol because it evaporates into nothing. You can use, lighter fluid is another good, and this rag is not very clean, and you'll see why. I'm not worried about having a ultra clean rag to do this part of it. What I'm doing is cleaning the fingerboard ultimately, and this denatured alcohol does dry things out. It'll evaporate into nothing. There'll be nothing left, but it's a great stain pen remover, but it also does a good job of cleaning wood and getting any debris out of the wood grain. And I'm using a pretty thick amount of it to try and wash that stuff out. I'm getting the end of the fingerboard too. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right. Now, I am going to break out my good old-fashioned Dremel tool. How about that? Come here. Yeah. Okay, that was a, I've got to put my polishing bit on this thing. And, I haven't used this thing for quite a long time. Dremel polishing compound, it's good stuff. It does a great job. Oh, wait a second here. And I bought this attachment for my Dremel a while back because I had some really defined grinding that I had to do, and I had to get this thing into a very small space. That's what she said, right? That's what he said. So I bought this, and it's a pretty cool little attachment. I know you couldn't see me there. My cameraman doesn't follow me real well. He still has a heavy drinking problem. Hopefully my camera's still working. But this is how this works. Okay. I don't do this very often. I like to use my own polishing compound, and I like to do this by hand, but we're going to do it this way today. Get this out of the way. Hopefully you can see what I'm up to. Now with this, you don't want to get it, you don't want to let the grind or the polishing hit the edge of the fingerboard too much. You will burn that, no doubt. It will burn the edge of the fingerboard. You got to be real cautious with the amount that you hold the polishing thing on the edge. Now, I've heard even guys like Dave at Dave's World of Fun Stuff. I love that guy, but I've heard him, oh, you get that black shit all over every fret and blah, 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 blah. Wait till you can see what the frets look like now. And let me just turn this off for a moment. I'm going to get you down close here, so hopefully you can see this pretty well. Alright, now I'm going to take a rag, and I'm just going to wipe this down, and I've got some denatured alcohol on it. Okay, so now normally, and I forgot to do this on this one, but I'm going to do this in honor of my good friend at Jamprosound. We're going to turn this paper over. I've already polished a couple frets, so let's wipe these off. And boy, they look good. But we're going to do this. We're going to use the back of the paper, the back of the sandpaper. Just go over these frets one more time. Just a little bit. The back of the paper, and you can see. Look at what that's doing. Doesn't take much. This is just like a little extra step that using the Dremel tool probably unnecessary, but this is a great way. If you don't have a Dremel tool or you don't have a good polishing compound, look at the difference between what it was and what it is now. Just using the back of the piece of sanding paper. You want something to shine, this is great. Paper bag, even a good old-fashioned rag can help polish something up very nicely. Of course, this is sanded down to 2000 grit, so there's not a whole lot. You can buy 4000 grit sandpaper. I'm aware of that, but I don't understand why somebody would do that. I don't know. It looks, especially on a guitar, this looks so amazing. All right. Again, I'm going to turn this up. A little bit of the compound on here. I'm going to start over again at number 1. Hopefully I got this in the frame. Hope everybody's having a great Thursday or Friday, depending on where you are in the world. And also, if you feel like you've learned something and want to contribute to the cause, you're more than welcome to use Venmo or PayPal. You can always super chat if you'd like. I'm not a big fan of super chats, and I don't do it because YouTube takes 30% of that, and I'd rather have the creator get all of the money that I want them to have, because I also pay for YouTube Premium, so I'd be giving YouTube extra money every month if I was doing super chats. And I contribute to several channels. There's a guy that does a live stream on Wednesdays. Well, obviously the THEFALCRO does, but there's another guy, Eddie. God, I wish I could remember. He's a blues artist. If you're into blues guitar and watching a guy sit there and drink whiskey and smoke cigarettes and sing songs and visit with folks from all over the world, Eddie, I'll have to look up his name again. Can't remember his last name, but I just get notifications every time he goes live and every time he releases a video, and the guy is just a fantastic player. Let me turn this off for a moment. I'm gonna take the world's greatest guitar repair tool, and all I'm doing here is kind of stirring up my my polishing compound here. I have a brand new jar of it. This one's getting down pretty low, so there we go. Okay. Now, I usually don't do this with the Dremel. I usually hand polish these. This one, I don't have as much time as I'd like to have, so I got to get this thing done. And just also, I have a very nice Martin D28 HD28 herringbone guitar here that has some binding that's been pulling off of it that I'm going to glue up, and I probably will. I'm going to try and do a live stream of that when I get to that one, which is probably not going to be until Monday. But if you're interested in how to get some binding to stick on your guitar, I have the right kind of glue and the right kind of know how to do this. And every guitar is different, so but I expect to have some good results from doing that. Very good guitar player, Larry Robb. He's a fantastic musician. He's got a 51 or 52 Telecaster that I've had the pleasure of working on. There's a video of that on my channel someplace. And I'm lucky I get to work on guitars like that and get to see them and play them and stuff and get to find out what all the hype is about. I'm lucky. We're getting there. I know it's a lot of frets to sit here and watch somebody polish. These kind of streams are not terribly exciting, but a good learning experience, I think. And I still watch tons of videos of guys doing guitar repair just to see what other guys will do with certain instances of damage or setup or whatever. And you know, the other thing is that I really do my best to support YouTube channels with respect to, you know, watching people's streams, and I let them know that I'm there, and I'll do that for a little while, but if I don't see any reciprocation, I'll kind of stop supporting them. I try and do my best to, you know, support as many guitar repair and informative and educational channels yet, but I've noticed that some of them, many of them, especially if they have more than a couple thousand subscribers, they won't go to your channel and subscribe, and they won't comment and let you know that they're there. No, it's just politeness. I don't know. It's unexpected, of course, but if I do notice it, I won't unsubscribe from their channel, but I will, you know, when I see them. If you haven't been to my channel and said something for a while, I ain't gonna go to yours, you know? What goes around comes around. I mean, I'm never gonna make much money on doing YouTube. I might get $110 this year for all the work that I've put into doing these things, and I enjoy it. But if they were faced with labor laws and what they pay people to create stuff, oh, yeah, they'd be in some trouble. Like if they had to pay minimum wage to YouTube creators, because it's not an employer. YouTube isn't an employer, right? Or are they? Huh. Think about that for a minute. Interesting. I'm really grateful that it's a service that's out there, and that allows me to do this. I mean, if I could just put some code up and send everybody I know an email, hey, I'm going to put a video up on the internet, I would rather do that and not make any money, you know. But it's not about the money. I just have fun doing this. So, alright, so these frets are looking pretty darn good compared to what they did look like when we got started. Okay. Well, look at that. Isn't that cool? Sparky, yeah, lacquer thinner. You're gonna polish it too. Yep. Hey, you know, I don't treat any guitar differently than I would treat my own. Now, that's not to say that I would own any guitar that anybody else would own, or build a guitar that anybody else would build. And I'm faced with this stuff with guys that we live in a very, very isolated place in the planet. Now, granted, Amazon does not allow us to be quite so isolated, but this guy took the time to paint this instrument. Let's see, Guitar Kit World. There you go. You want to know how much this guitar kit cost? You can go to Guitar Kit World and see how much you paid for it. So, you know, he bought this thing. He wanted to have this guitar as a player, backup guitar for gigs, and you know, he likes working on them, of course. But all these fine details that I'm doing to this guitar, he doesn't know how to do, or doesn't have the proper tools to do it. So he brings it to me. It keeps me busy, and he'll have a guitar, hopefully, that we can make play pretty good. My journeyman's over there laughing at me. See? Everybody say hi to Stu.
Hi.
Yeah. Spark, I'm really, again, I can't tell you how grateful I am for you giving that gift to so many people. And that kid, Tristan Eggert, again, he lives here. I mean, the chances of him getting a subscription or a membership to my channel with with all the people that YouTube could just randomly choose, and it's somebody that lives in my town. Holy crap. The odds of that are astonishing. Okay. Let me put this down here on the floor. Got the neck, the fingerboard oiled. Oh God, this thing, it's so painful to look at because I'm looking down on it right now and I can see how twisted it is. I mean, it's literally going, oh, it's brutal. Okay. Here we go. Time to put the body. Oh, okay. Now here's something else that happened when he was building this guitar. He got a little Arnold Schwarzenegger with it, and he broke one of the screws off in the neck. In fact, this screw that went in right here was broken off inside the back of the guitar. And also, he had strings on it when he brought it in, and I realized that the neck needed a shim, so I've got a shim inside. And what this shim is, it's a material that can't shrink or swell or change its thickness. And what it is a piece of a pick guard. I ain't kidding you. We have thousands of pick guards that come into here with guitars that people don't ever use them, so I've started using it as a shim material. It needed a little shim, and it may need more of a shim, but we're gonna go ahead and, oh, that screw fell out of there. Where did you go?
I'm good.
Let me see. Where did you decide to fall out at? Probably just fell out. It's probably in my pocket again. Where did you go? Huh. Well, okay, I've got another screw. Let me never use power tools on guitars, right? Never ever use power tools on a guitar. Okay, and when you do, make sure that your chuck is set as hard as it can go, so that you'll strip the screws out when they go in. Okay, or it'll snap the tip of the screw off. Hang on, I gotta grab another neck screw. Where'd that one go? Huh. Interesting. Now, as I say all the time, I never throw anything away, right? I can't remember where this screw came from, but it was a guitar. It was off a guitar that somebody brought in that was beyond repair, or it was just so bad that I couldn't bring myself to use it. There we go. All right, that's it. All right, the neck's on. The guitar is back in almost in one piece. Let me think. I'm going to get my neck support here. Now we're going to get the guitar back up here and maybe actually get strings on it before the end of the stream. How much time do I have left? I've got until 2 o'clock Pacific Standard. I got 10 minutes. Okay. 10 minutes. We're going to do this for another 10 minutes. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Yeah. Okay. What I am going to do now, clean this bad boy while I don't have strings on it. Well, don't spray this directly on the instrument. It says right on the bottle. And you'll notice this thing just has a standard, well, it's a wraparound bridge, which I like them, but at the same time, there's a little factor about this particular bridge that I'm not a fan of. And that is these little set screws here that adjust the distance from to and from the nut. If you want to adjust the string height, in order to turn these pole pieces, or these, you know, to raise the string height, you can't. Let's see, we're going to use regular slinkies. You can't turn the screws without loosening the tension on the strings, which on a kind of a normal Les Paul, you actually don't have to do that. You know, like on an A, or what are those called? Those kinds of bridges. Yeah. Alright, so again, this is a wraparound bridge. So, and when you put the string through it, you risk scratching the paint on this particular instrument. We're just going to string it up. Here we go. I don't have anything else left to do, and I won't know if all of my work was in vain until I get this thing strung up and tuned up. I'm checking the hardware on the headstock real quick. Oh, and the truss rod in this guitar works fantastically, by the way. Get some tools out of the way. All right, here we go. Let's get her strung up. Looking good. You got to be careful putting strings on this guitar so you don't scratch up the back edge of the bridge. Okay. And again, I'm kind of hurrying on this one. I usually don't hustle this much. I like to take a little more time with doing repairs and things like that, but this gentleman wants to use this guitar at a gig this Saturday. So, is that A? Oh, my knees hurt, dude. I sure hope so. I sure hope so. And I hope that it's not, you know, terrible to play. You guys aren't, I'm not going to be able to do any more work on this today because my afternoon, after I eat lunch, is completely full of guitar students, which God bless them. Thank you to every single student that takes a lesson from me. You guys are amazing. I love every one of you. And I've got some really promising young people playing guitar right now, and it's really cool. Now I'm tightening up this screw on this one tuner because it feels really odd. What's going on here? There we go. Okay. Really inexpensive, not high quality machine heads on this one. My, yeah. Hey, dude, you might be right, Mr. 5150. You may very well be right, but you know, I can always raise the string action and make it not buzz. You may be right. Okay. I know you can't see everything I'm doing here. I've got my camera guy. He smells like alcohol right now, so he's I think I'm pretty close. I'm not using a tuner right now, by the way. I'm just tuning by ear. Yeah. Mark, that would probably be a very good thing to do with this guitar. That would be a wonderful way to use an instrument with a neck that's as in bad a shape as this one is. Using it as a slide guitar would be a wonderful way to make good use of an instrument that potentially, now, that potentially is going to be terrible. I just don't know. I don't know. I can't predict the future, and maybe I have some kind of magic touch. My hope, where'd my string winder go? Good grief, that thing hides. Maybe I have some magic touch that will make this thing actually work. I don't know. We will play a chord on it before I go to lunch today, so hang in there. I think I'm pretty close. Out of the lower 6 tuner hole. I'm not sure. Hang on. Okay. Oh, come on. Get in there. This bridge is actually kind of a cool engineering feat. Interesting. I've never seen one like this. This is the first bridge I've actually ever seen that's done like this one. 1, 2, 2. Come on. Get on there. There we go. Come on. Oh, this string's playing hard to get. There we go. We're almost strung up. We're almost ready to play a chord on this thing. Let's see what it does. Oh. There's my tuner. I'm still using this good old-fashioned tuner. Let's tune this thing up. See where she be. Okay, I'm just going to tune it, let you guys see how close is my ear. I'm a little bit flat. Way flat, that one. Okay. You can watch, hear what I'm doing here. And I'm not being nice. I know a lot of guys probably don't pull as hard as I do when they're stretching strings on a guitar, because they don't work at a guitar shop. Oop. And they don't have a pile of guitar strings sitting there next to them that if they break one, they can just grab a new string. So I'm not nice about stretching strings. I don't like playing a guitar that has strings on it that will still move. All right, here we go. I have not played this guitar yet. I have no idea what to expect here. You watched me put the neck on it, level the fingerboard, crown the frets, knock the edges off, tune it up, twisted neck. Have not adjusted the string action except for yesterday, and it looks pretty decent right now. Let's see what this thing sounds like. Let's do a clean, we'll do a clean guitar sound. Do we have any sound? And of course I haven't intonated it yet. Oh, my amp's probably turned off. Well, that would help. Okay, typical P90. Hear the buzz? God, what a dork. Okay, P90. It's a snark tuner, yes. I've had this, you guys, I ain't kidding you. Let me turn this down. There's a P90 noise for you. Thus, I don't like P90s. I hate hearing that. I've had this snark tuner for the duration of any live streams I've done from this bench, which I think I've had this thing, I've been using this same exact snark tuner for 7, possibly, yeah, no, it's been 7 years at least, and I haven't broken it yet. It all still works. The only thing I've done is this rubber on the inside has managed to stay put, and I took a green piece of felt off of a Bigsby that was broken and glued it on here. So that's probably worth $1,000 just because it was off a really old Bigsby. Now before I'm gonna check sharp a little bit, sharp a little bit, sharp. That one's a little bit flat. Sharp. So the intonation, let me get you down here. You're seeing it. Alright, I just put the neck on this thing and leveled the fingerboard and put the crowns on the frets. Okay, that's with some overdrive and some delay on it, but twisted neck and all, the thing actually plays pretty nicely. just put strings on it like 5 minutes ago,
That'd be
right?
great.
And I can
take
play
care
it
of you,
like
buddy.
that.
No problem. Bye-bye.
So these are 10 gauge Ernie Ball slinkies, and thank you, Stu.
No problem.
Appreciate it. So there you go. So that's how you level and crown and polish and put a neck back on a guitar, even if you lose the screw that you put in it yesterday, which it's right here under my feet, I promise. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I have to go eat some lunch. I'm running a little late. So there you go. You guys, thanks for hanging with me today. Again, if you feel like you've learned something and want to donate to the channel, you got Venmo links and PayPal in the description of the video, and we can talk a little bit more about this. This guitar is definitely ready to play. I'm shocked because of how twisted the neck is at how well this thing plays. That is astonishing. So there you go. Hopefully, and I know that when I was playing the guitar, it probably got loud and blistering loud. I don't have an audio interface here to mix the sound and do all that shit. I'm doing it for myself, and hopefully it sounded okay. So you guys have a really great day. Peace, y'all. Thanks for being here. Wow. Okay. Holy shit. 60 people just watched me fix this guitar.